right, here we go. 1.4 literal equations, rewriting equations and formula notes. So, essential question, how can you use a formula for one measurement to write a formula for a different measurement? So, literal equations are equations that have two or more variables. So, we're going to write that across the top. An equation with two or more variables. Okay, so step one, and this is very important. It's actually step 0 since we've been doing the other ones. This is going to be box the variable you are solving for. The other thing we need to remember is terms are separated by plus and minus signs. Super important. Okay, here we go. Number 1, it says solve the equation for y. First thing we do, box it. Okay, is this a positive y or a negative y? This is positive, so we're peachy. Next thing, exactly what we've been doing. Simplify, identify, perform, check. There's nothing to simplify, so boxing the variable in is sort of part of our identify. So now we say what's going on between 2x and y, and so we're adding 2x. So we undo that by subtracting 2x. Now, is there anything else on the side with the y? Nope. So we go through. It's sad meep. We do exactly the same as we've been doing. So we're going to do subtract 2x, subtract 2x. These guys are opposites. Okay. What remains on the left-hand side, remember, whatever sign is in front is always what stays with it. So we have y equals, now, which one comes first? Variables always come first. So we have negative 2x minus 9. And you're done. No check step. There's nothing you can do. Okay, number 2. Oops, looks a little wonky, sorry. Okay, number 2. So again, it wants us to solve for y. So we do our do and undo box. And it says, what's going on between 4x and y? It looks like subtraction, but it's not. What sign is in front of the 4x? It's addition. So we're adding 4x, and then we're going to subtract 4x. Okay, here's a little tricky. What's going on here? This is negative 10 times y. So we're multiplying by negative 10. So we undo that by dividing by negative 10. Now, you need to get into the habit of understanding when it's divide, it's going to be each term. This is super important. Okay, so go ahead, do the steps, sad meep. So subtract 4x, subtract 4x. What remains on the left-hand side? This term right here. So we have negative 10y equals negative 4x plus 12. No sign in front of the 12, so we know it's addition. Okay, next step, it says divide each term by negative 10. Now right now that doesn't make sense why we're doing this, but I promise you when we get into chapters 3 and 4, this is going to make way more sense and it will help you a ton next year. Okay, any number divided by itself is 1. So we have 1y. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And that leaves me 4/10. and then the x goes next to it, and then we have a negative and a positive here, which means now we have a negative 12 divided by 10. Now, I could have written this already reduced right here, but I want to make sure you see what's going on. 4 and 10 both have a common denominator of 2. Sorry, not common denominator, common factor. So I have y equals 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Minus, now I've got, these guys are both even as well. So this is 6 over 5. Now, this one can be an improper fraction. This one cannot. So you can have 5 and 1/5. Whoops. Sorry. You can have 1 and 1/5. Or it could be in decimal form. This is the answer. Okay. Number 3. How we doing? Okay, step 1 or step 0 is box the variable. All of these say solve for y. So box the variable. Okay, then we've got our do and undo. Notice we haven't had to do any check steps. This should make you all happy. Okay, what's going on between y and 1/6? We're multiplying by a fraction. If I multiply by a fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 6. And then I'm adding 2x. So to undo addition, you do subtraction. On these, we're always doing sad meat when we're doing do and undo. So we have subtraction, and then we have multiplication. So we subtract 2x from both sides. Okay, on the left-hand side now, I have negative 2x plus 13. There wasn't a sign here, so it's a plus, equals, these guys are opposites, 1/6 y. Now, again, we have got a multiplier divide. That means you have to do each term. This is super important. Okay, so I'm going to take each term. Here's a term. Here's a term, here's a term, and I'm going to multiply by 6. Okay, I'm actually multiplying both sides by 6, but then you have to do distribution, and honestly, you guys still struggle on it. So this way, you don't have to remember how to do distribution, and you don't have to do it right. You just remember each term, and then you're good to go. Hopefully this will help you with distribution. Okay, negative 2 times 6 is negative 12, plus 6 times 13 is 78, and then 6 times 1/6 is just 1. Okay, and then I know I have to write the variable on the left, so I just flip sides. And you're done. Okay, bottom. Notice this time it says, for the formula, solve the bold variable. So again, I'm going to box what I'm looking for. This one actually is kind of cool. There's a number of formulas that are like this. So we have do and undo. So what's going on between L and W? I'm multiplying by L. How do I undo that? I divide by L. Then I've got multiply by H, so I divide by H. Now, these two are exactly the same. If it is exactly the same, you can do it in one step. So that looks like this. Divide by LH. Divide by LH. So now I've got L divided by L is 1. And H divided by H is 1. So I have W on this side and V divided by LH. Flip the order and you're done. Okay, only if they are exactly the same can you do that one. Okay, Next one. Okay, step 1, box the variable. Hey, this one has parentheses. So we have 2 choices. We can 1, vanquish the foe, which is 10 times easier, or 2, do distribution first. Now, if you didn't see this, you have a fraction and a decimal. And that means your life is going to be sad. So let's get rid of what's on the outside first. So when we set up our do and undo, we still do it the same way. We have r plus 6.5. So we have add 6 5/10. And then we have, it's r times 1/2. So we have multiply by 1/2. It's a variable. Sorry, it's a fraction. If we're multiplying by a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Now this dude is in a box because they're inside parentheses. Okay, so we have to do the multiply and then we're going to do the subtract. Even though we're doing sad meep, we're actually going to do that twice. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 1/2. I'm going to rewrite it over here actually, because it's a little squishy. Okay, so I've got multiply both sides by 2. Why is it not each term? Well, because we're vanquishing the foe, we're not doing regular steps. So now I've got 2f on this side, and then this one has just r plus 6 5/10. Did this guy. Now I'm going to do this guy. Subtract 6 5/10. Okay. And then I've got, I'm going to move the r already. R equals 2f minus 6 5/10. Remember, there was no sign, so it's a positive. Okay, on number 6,